Welcome back to the Isaac Abrams Show, everybody. I'm your host, Isaac Abrams. Today's very special guest, comedian, actor, writer, producer, and now first-time philanthropist, KIKI Andersen with an E.
Yes. Thank you for noticing.
I had to because I sent the wrong email.
Yeah, that
on
happens
the invite.
a lot. I don't know. Hopefully, at some point, I get to a level of fame where people are like, "Oh, there goes Andersen with an E." But we're not there yet.
Andersen.
That's the Danish spelling.
On this episode, guys, we talk about we talk about stuff. KIKI just got back from Austin. She has a commercial playing in New York Times Square. All kinds of stuff. She drops her comedy dates. Look out for her in Chicago next week if you're around the Chicago area. We do some Would You Rathers at the end. KIKI, tell us where we can find you on the internet.
It's KIKI Andersen on TikTok and Instagram, and YouTube. I think it's just regular KIKI Andersen, and that's it.
Is the word regular in there?
No.
Just pause.
Just regular.
KIKI Andersen on pause YouTube.
But see, that would be very unique, and everybody would remember it. Fuck, I gotta change my branding.
But like pause, like dog and cat pause, like PAW. Meow. Meow. It's a great episode. I had a really good time. KIKI, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Enjoy the episode, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Sweet.
Hi. How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
I do the intro at the end.
Oh, love that.
And then it's a recap.
Okay.
Yeah. So thanks for being late.
Yeah, I was on a meeting and dyeing my hair at the same time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. You frequently dye your hair.
Yes. Dyeing it red is a lot of upkeep. You want to be the perfect amount of ginge. You don't want to like half-ass the ginge.
The ginge. That's so funny. So I've heard that blonde is the hardest.
Yeah, especially when you're a brunette.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Unless you just like frosty tip. Like for guys, you just bleach this shit and it'll all fall out and you just grow more hair.
Yeah.
But if you're a brunette and you want to go full like platinum.
Yeah.
It's a process.
And for a while, it was like very into, like it was the ombre look with the long brown roots. But it just like made you look dirty. And, you know, I am dirty, but I don't want to look it. So
that's the look that I grew up in the 90s. So like anytime I see a woman that's got like real dark roots and like platinum blonde at the end, I'm like, whoa.
She must have traveled through time.
That's my type right there, dude. Which is weird to admit, and I'm trying to convince my girlfriend to do it, and she's like, no.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. What kind of hair does she have?
She's slowly going blonder and blonder. But it'll never be blonde enough.
That's how it is. Being blonde, it's like kind of like getting tattoos. It's an addiction. You just want more and more and more. And then you're like, you look back in pictures and you're like, that was dumb. Especially for me, because I have like dark brown eyebrows and like. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Can you dye those too?
I've been thinking about it. My sister says I'm going to look like a Russian hooker, and she might be right. So.
Yeah, sisters are good for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Is she in the business? Sorry.
Yeah, she does hair and makeup. So.
No, I meant the Russian hooker business. But, like, takes one to know one.
Yeah. She's actually the head of all Russian hookers. So.
Oh, wow. Yeah, the International Guild. Okay, whatever. That's so funny. So she does hair and makeup?
Yeah, she does, she started out doing, special effects, but now she just does more, beauty type stuff.
Right. That pays the bills.
Yeah, it's there's not a lot of horror happening these days. I don't know why.
Yeah, because it's October.
Yeah.
Yeah, we shoot all the horror stuff in March.
Yeah. So I feel also horrors just don't get made that much in general. Maybe it's too expensive. I have no idea.
I would almost disagree with that because I think if you have a limited budget, the first thing you're going to shoot is a horror because you can hide a lot of stuff in the dark. You can shoot it at night. Everybody wants to be in their first movie. I don't know. All my friends that made their first films, they all made horrors first.
Yeah.
And then some of them were like, I don't want to be a horror director. I'm like, well, you should have thought about that.
Yeah, right.
Before you made a horror movie.
You should have made a drama. What are you doing?
You just got back from Austin.
Yes.
And you played The Mothership.
Yes.
How was it?
It was sick.
Yeah?
Yeah. That room is very, very cool.
Which room did you do?
It was the main room. I think it's called Fat Man.
Yeah.
But I was doing Roast Battle. I didn't do a stand-up set. But Roast Battle is a great show to begin with. They're doing a great job with it. But they just have such a rabid following in Austin. I mean, both shows I think were sold out. Yeah. And they had 2 shows in one night, which is crazy. I didn't even know.
That's nuts. Yeah. Did you do both?
No, I did one. But I heard the first show was great. And then the second show, I mean, sometimes with Roast Battle, you'll get newer people at the top and then, they kind of struggle a little bit. And then you have the people that have been doing it a while at the end. But everybody on the lineup was killer. Yeah. You could have paired up anybody with anybody. And just the audience was mwah.
Oh, they're there for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot like the Kill Tony audience. They're Yeah, I've never been a huge roast battle person. I don't understand it. Like I get it, but like I've just never.
You either like it or you don't.
Yeah, and no shade. I love it that people are into it. Like anything that forwards all comedy, like a rising tide lifts all boats, right?
Yeah.
And I'm glad people are super into it. It's just not.
I like that. I'm gonna keep that.
Oh, I didn't write that. Like,
is it in the Bible?
Yes. Yeah, it's first boat 1-9. It's all rising tide rises. Also, I get it wrong all the time too.
The Jesus-ness looks good on you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've been. It's been a rough Jesus week. Mm-hmm. My mom found my podcast. She's very religious.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So she wrote me a 5-page email.
Oh no, that's a lot of email.
All of the instances. I think she went through all of it. It's a lot. And she wrote, like, in this episode, you said this word at this time. And then I have a clip about, as a would you rather, which I'm not famous for. A bunch of people do would you rathers, but I had one that involved, like, would you rather watch your parents do this obscene thing or this obscene thing?
Oh, no, you chose wrong.
Well, I asked the question, but she thought it was about her.
Oh, okay.
So we're dealing with a little bit of Jesus stuff this week. Oof, and the election's coming up, so we sit on... not different sides of the aisle, but we're not sitting on the same pew.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Interesting.
Who are you voting for?
Who am I voting for?
I'm totally kidding. This is a gotcha podcast, so like I'm just gonna keep firing away.
Woo, you know what? I feel like Thursday's a good day to end my career. Take a break on Friday.
Right. Well, the problem is that if you say something stupid on this show, you will be very famous by the time anybody figures it out and goes back through the back catalog, watches all your shit, and they go, oh, there's one last thing I haven't seen. It's Kiki on the Isaac Abrams Show. I'm going to watch this. Canceled.
I am terrified. Like, I did podcasts in the very beginning of me doing stand-up, which, like word of advice to anybody doing stand-up. If it's your first year, if it's your third year, don't do any podcasts. Like, you're an idiot.
Right.
And that shit lives on the internet forever. I'm like... if I ever make it, like, I don't know what I said 7 years ago on a podcast.
Yeah. It's called Podbrain.
Yeah.
You won't remember what you said when you leave here.
Right.
I don't remember what I said yesterday. I don't even know what I had for breakfast today.
Yeah.
Like, it just comes out, and then you struck a nerve if you get comments, because people only comment on stuff that bothers them now.
Right. So,
like, I have a clip up right now that's about taking video game kids and putting them in charge of drone strikes.
Ooh.
And it's just like all these military kids are like, you need people on the ground. And I'm like, yeah, to shoot at from the drone. Like, it's just...
that's an insane thing to comment on.
It's just an insane thing to look at a comedy podcast clip and go like, I'm going to get mad about this, dude.
Yeah.
So you have a podcast right now?
I actually just ended my podcast. I had a podcast called Indecent. It was everything taboo, things you can't talk about at the dinner table. But
my mom would love it.
Yeah, it sounds like it's right.
I'm going to send her a link to it. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure our second episode's about religion. Tell her to tune in.
Oh yeah, episode 2. Right.
Yeah.
Nice. Very cool. And then you just don't have time for it anymore?
Yeah, it's just, I had a great production team. We were all remote, actually. So they were in D.C. and I was here and we were doing it over Zoom. But it's just a lot of work because it was very, like, research heavy. And, like, we would have to find interviews because we'd find, like, experts and stuff. Oh. And it's just podcasting doesn't pay the bills. So,
no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I need, like, a Spotify deal or something. Otherwise,
even that. Well, and if you get like Smartless just signed for $100 million last week or something.
Oh,
like that.
Okay. So just be Jason Bateman.
Yeah, or Sean Hayes or Will Arnett.
Okay, I'll work on it.
I would, if I could be anybody, I would be Will Arnett.
Ooh, okay, I see that for you.
I would love to be Will Arnett.
Yeah.
Just say whatever you want to, and everybody thinks it's hilarious.
Oh, yeah. He's just got that charming smile.
Yeah. I just need to get one of those. I need a charming smile and like a massive career, and then I need to have kids with Amy Poehler.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Wow.
That's the baby mama. They're not together anymore.
Oh, really?
I mean, we're friends, so I probably shouldn't put their business on this street. Wouldn't that be funny if I was just like, come on in, dude.
Oh, what's up, Will? Hop for a pod. Come on.
They film next door. They're
really?
in the studio. No.
I'm like, well, hey, we should go over there.
Yeah, Barack Obama's just chilling next door right now. That'd be so funny. Have you ever met a president?
I have been near Obama and near Trump, but I have not talked to them.
Have you been to the White House?
I have been to the White House.
Where are you from?
I'm from D.C.
Thanks for watching, everybody. I did my research. Jesus. Dude.
I grew up on 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Wow.
Big Nepo baby.
Yeah, my dad was the president. Okay, well that's embarrassing. I should have looked that up.
And why would anybody know that? It's not even a state. So.
Is it out there? Is it public knowledge?
You know, I realized very recently that nobody knows shit about me in the scene.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
people will say things to me, I'm like, how do you not know that? We've been friends for 5 years. I'm like,
Right.
oh, because most people don't talk about, like, lives. You know,
Right.
you talk about, like, what's
below,
happening in the room.
Exactly. Like, if you're out in the scene, if it's anything below surface level, people are like, oh, okay, yeah, and then they just get up and leave.
Yeah.
It's like, no, there's no deep conversations happening
No.
other than the podcast scene.
Right. That's why we're here.
Yeah. But I don't
it out
get
there.
invited on other people's podcasts very often.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of rude.
Well, I don't know why. It's probably because I'm not out doing stand-up in Los Angeles very often.
That might be it.
Yeah.
It's a very transactional city.
It
You gotta be giving, but you are giving like podcast time, so I would think people would be like, "Oh my god."
Oh yeah. I just don't think a lot of people there's not a lot of podcast at the feature level.
Yeah.
Podcasting is kind of like a headliner's game
Yeah.
because it's very expensive.
Yeah.
If you don't get a deal.
It is expensive, and also like I watched your podcast before. Like I was watching the clips. I was like, "This is a quality podcast." Like I'm done doing shitty podcasts. That
you.
era of my life is over.
Right. I think it's good training
Yeah.
to go to somebody's apartment and sit on their couch and like
Yeah.
say fart jokes for an hour, but
Yeah.
I think you got to also prepare yourself for like getting into the, because there's this induction thing, right?
Yeah.
Like you recently just crossed over 10,000 followers on Instagram,
did.
right?
Yes.
So I was like, oh, she's ready to come on the show.
I knew that's what it was.
No, it has nothing to do with that. I just ran out of guests and no one else would say yes.
Oh, I feel good.
Yeah. I'm just shitting on my guests. What am I doing, dude? No, I've wanted to have you on for a while.
Oh, thank you.
Talk about all kinds of stuff. Are you still doing photography?
Not really.
Yeah.
Like, I was kind of doing that as a side hustle for a while, but it's just like, there's so many people that are so much better at it than me, and I don't have like the time or the bandwidth to get Van Corona good. So I'm like, you know what?
Right.
There's people out there that do want to be that good. Let them have that gig. I also don't want to take a night off of stand up for $100. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I'd rather be working on my material. So
Right. Speaking of things that don't pay very well,
yeah,
comedy photography is at the very top of the list.
yeah,
There's some people that do pay very well. Like if you get a private gig with a headliner that takes you on the road,
totally.
fucking sweet. But those jobs are very few and far between.
Yeah.
And you get like one a year.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm glad that like the culture is shifting back a little bit, because I feel like there was this moment where every show in LA was hiring comedy photographers, and I'm like, you're not paying the comics. Like, you
Right.
don't need a photographer.
Right.
Like, get a photographer maybe once a year, or like when you're a big show, so you can like make it bigger, but like this show doesn't need this, and I don't need 100 pictures of my face. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think that was like more so during Pandy.
Yeah.
And then there was that article that came out about the 12 top comedy photographers in Los Angeles. And I didn't make the list.
There was a lot of people that were bitter about that one.
Dude. And I was
Yeah.
like, I've never heard of 8 of these 12 people.
Yeah.
But it doesn't, I don't care. I'm not competing with anybody. It's just,
Yeah.
I work at the Improv when they call me, and that's it.
Yeah, I can name like 3 photographers, and that's not shitting on the other ones. I don't know. I'm not paying that much attention, I guess.
Yeah, it's a weird crossover, too. I only shoot at the store for Stand Up on the Spot with Jeremiah Watkins.
Oh, nice.
And I was there on Monday night with my camera, and I was like, I don't want to walk around the hallway with this camera here.
Yeah.
I always save the store for comedy. I was just like, only going to do comedy there.
Yeah.
But through photography, Jeremiah lets me open the show every once in a while.
That's great. It is a great way to meet people. I was Supernova's photographer, and I got to meet a lot of people that way.
Yeah. And you got some time off of it, right?
Yeah, because I had originally gotten hired as a photographer, and then I was kind of working wait staff, and, it was kind of I'm around, so they'll put me up, and then, I don't know. I met a lot of people, and a lot of people hate you for it, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Whitney and Blonde.
Nikki?
Nope, other one.
Carlisle?
No. Oh, fuck. Anyway, we're talking about the photography scene in Los Angeles. And
Oh, really?
They're like, the way some of these guys photograph women. I'm like,
Oh,
yeah.
That's also true. Yeah, I see that side of it.
It's tough, man, because like you got people that are coming in for like just a development spot or just a warm-up spot or just working stuff out. And they're not necessarily dressed for like a theater performance.
Right.
But, they're still performing in front of 300 people. Like, put yourself together a little bit. But,
Yeah.
I understand, like, Eliza not wanting to be photographed while she was pregnant, or Whitney not
Right.
but like, you're only pregnant for, what is it, 3 years, something like that?
Yeah.
How long does it take to make
Yeah.
a baby? So I think in the course of my life I would want to document that process, but
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, a lot of it is like, don't shoot women from like up here, and now you're pregnant, so it's like you got this belly and this chin. Like, I can see where that gets tricky.
Yeah,
and I've also been scolded by other women as a woman photographer. Been like, hey, why'd you post that photo of me? I'm like, I thought you looked great, but everyone has their sensitivities,
Yeah, yeah, and it's also there's, as you know, there's this huge challenge of like shooting during a laugh. Shooting when they're smiling, not talking, not making a weird face, not blinking.
Right.
It's like, it's hard.
It is hard.
It's hard.
It's hard taking pics of jokers,
Yeah.
But you do notice, and I'm sure you've had the same experience, like you can tell who's seasoned, because like Whitney is like a fucking president, she like pauses and holds like Barack Obama,
Yeah.
And a lot of these other comics, like, I don't know, they're not quite hitting their mark, like they're not quite nailing the act out, so you get like a lot of like in between photos, and yes, it's my fault, but it is also your fault.
Yeah, that's why I like to shoot with a really long lens from the back of the room where it's very dark, because then they don't feel that pressure. Like for a while, the Improv had this one like vertical shot that they liked that was right down that center row in the main room, and it's a low angle, which women hate. And guys, short guys love it because they're like, look how tall I am.
Right.
But it was the only thing they would post for a while, so you had to get that shot of every single comedian, and then eventually I just stopped turning those in.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't think I'm making any friends.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you get the spots in exchange for the photography, and then people are mad at you for that, and it's, politics are crazy.
Oh, man, yeah. So I got all the tours that I've ever been on, I got because I gave the headliner a discount on the videography for stage time.
That's great.
So,
honestly, that's the thing, is I've heard headliners say a good opener brings something else to the table. Yeah.
Yeah, like Eric Freeman will do like set up the merch for Craig Conant and like walk him in the like advance the shows and like kind of do like mini tour manager stuff and like it's not terribly hard to just make life super easy for your headliner.
Right. And like it's just nice.
It's nice. Yeah. It's so nice.
It's nice. You're doing me a solid, I'm doing you a solid, everybody's doing solids.
I think Craig does a really good job of promoting his feature. I don't think a lot of headliners do that.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah.
But I won't do it when I'm a headliner.
No, I'm not bringing anyone with me. I'm bringing literally a clown in a car.
I'm bringing my friends. Dude.
Yeah.
I'm going to get all local openers, and I'm just going to have friends on staff that hang out in the back.
Yeah, right.
Because the road is a lonely place.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be if you bring the right people.
Yeah. But. Yeah, I think it's hard too, because it's like you make it to a certain level. Yeah, now you're headlining, but you can't afford to bring people, and then you just want to bring people you can hang out with.
Yeah. But comics are fun to hang out with.
Comics are fun to hang out with. Yeah, you need a little mental illness around you.
You got to get your road dogs with you. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Check this out. I found a Jam in the Van credit from 2011 on your IMDb.
Really?
Yeah. Is that a typo, or were you a musician? Because they used to do music.
I was very drunk in 2011, so maybe. But that must be wrong.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, so for those of you at home that don't know, Jam in the Van they host a bunch of like comedy shows now. They used to be a van on the internet, and they would have bands come in and play in this bus.
Yeah.
And when Pandy hit, they parked the bus, they started doing a comedy.
Yeah, they're great. They're very cool.
But I don't think they were around in 2011.
No, that would be crazy. I mean, I would love to think that in a different incarnation, I was musically apt. But no, that doesn't sound right.
Because you have another musical credit on your IMDb.
I do.
It's a show about music.
Oh, my music. Yeah. It
Is
was
that
like
that's not musically related?
I mean, it was kind of. It was there used to be these brothers that were kind of big in the like kids content. They did My Music. That's the Fine Brothers.
Okay.
It was like kind of a sketch show like that lived online. Grace Helbig, who was like a big internet star, was the star of the show. I was a PA. My sister did the hair and makeup. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I assumed it was a talent credit.
No, I wasn't booking anything back then, and you know what? I'm still not. Not much has changed.
That's not true. You had a commercial in Times Square this weekend.
I did. It was really crazy.
Now I saw a bunch of familiar faces.
Yeah.
There's Cole. I think Cole Garrett's in it.
Yeah.
And who else would I know from?
Noah Finling and Dana Moon. I actually
Oh, yeah.
cast it.
You cast it.
Yeah.
What's it for? What's the product?
So it's for Cheetah, which is a couch company.
Okay.
So, I've always wanted to be shilling couches on Times Square, and now I am.
Right?
No, but I'm friends with the director, and he had hired me for a different commercial last year for pool vacuums.
Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this time around, he hired me. He was like, hey, I'm shooting this commercial, $200 under the table. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but it was literally like, we threw this together in like a week.
Yeah.
We didn't even know where it was going to go. It was supposed to be for the internet, like for this small company none of us knew. And he was like, do you know any comics that are available? So I literally just texted 20 people. I was like, is anyone around on Friday?
Like, do I?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. And those were the people that answered. And then I opened Instagram yesterday and I see that I'm tagged in a post of my face in Times Square. So.
Yeah. So they lied to you about the media buy.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody lied, but I sure didn't know about it.
Yeah. Well, if they got Times Square money, it seems like, whatever. Good for them.
Yeah.
And good for you.
Yeah,
I thought
thanks,
you
man.
were in Times Square, like, filming that on your phone. Like,
No, that would have been insane. I would have like mooned the camera or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you've made it now.
Yes, I'm very famous.
You've had your face
I
in
own
Times
land.
Square.
Yeah.
Is that your definition of making it, is owning land?
I think about this a lot more than I should. I think it's changed, right? Like, that's not like a realistic dream anymore. Like, I would love to just have a parking spot, like, I would love to have parking, maybe a balcony.
Yeah.
In-unit laundry.
Oh, okay. Now that's way too fancy.
Oh, yeah.
That's taking it to a level I can't even comprehend.
Yeah, I know.
I've thought about, like, putting a washer and dryer in my apartment, but I would have to cut through walls, and I think it's almost worth it.
Yeah, your neighbors will be fine with that.
Well, it wouldn't be. It would be walls inside my place.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to cut through your neighbors.
That would be funny. Just like a Kool-Aid man through the wall and be like, we're getting laundry.
Yeah.
I don't know why I turned into like a WWE guy. But yeah, wow. Okay. So I do feel successful now because I do have a parking spot
That's huge.
and I do have a balcony.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Have
So
you like been invited to like any illicit parties?
yes,
Yeah.
but I can't talk. I used to work for Diddy.
Wow, cool.
I didn't. I was in charge of procuring the baby oil.
Oh, okay.
It's a full-time job.
Yeah, that's a heavy load. I mean, 1,000 bottles.
Yeah, I guess the whole thing is that he put drugs in all of them.
Really?
Yeah, he put like the Rohypnol in the baby oil.
That is
But-
so like okay. Do you think there's like a dollar amount where somebody becomes a bad person, or were they always a bad person?
I think there's a fame amount because I know a lot of really wealthy people that are great people.
Yeah.
There's good people on both sides. But I think I've met a lot of famous people that are real pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Once you stop hearing no,
Yeah.
then that's when you can just start going down a weird path.
Yeah.
So, like if you become a star when you're a kid, you just never, like Justin Bieber's a real dick.
Yeah.
Because he's just like, I get what I want all the time from everyone on the planet.
Yeah.
Can you imagine playing that video game? Like just being Justin Bieber for a day? Like, holy shit. Whatever you want just shows up.
I know. And like Kanye, people have been telling him he's like a god for how long has he been around? Like 20 years now?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're going to think you're a fucking god. If everybody's around you telling you yes all the time and like how amazing and like how you're like how you establish culture.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
You're going to establish some weird cultures.
Yeah, I worked with him on a Beyonce music video one time, and I went in to check on him. He's talking to his barber or his groomer, whatever you want to call it, about how he treats people. Mm-hmm. And he's like, you, man, what's your name? And I was like, my name's Isaac. He's like, you're a person, Isaac. You matter. I'm going to start treating people like Isaac like they're real people from now on. And I was like, thanks, Kanye. We gotta go to set, man. He's like, yeah. And then, like, I think it was 2 weeks later, he went up on stage and took the mic from Taylor Swift. I was like, you haven't changed, Kanye. But never changed, dude. Be you, boss.
Have you ever listened to that podcast about him? It's this like white guy who's like really into music and he like breaks down albums. I forget what it's called.
Oh.
But there's one about Kanye's My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. And it talks about that moment and like how his mom had just died and like how he was fucking going through it.
Yeah.
Like it really makes you, if you don't have to like him, but at least makes you feel empathy for him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can't put myself in his shoes. I don't know what it's like to create that level of art.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've worked with artists like him, and it's like the weight of the world's on you.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you see it on like top tier comedians too. It's like they're super funny when they're on stage, and as soon as they get off stage, they're just like, oh. Like, how do I keep all the balls in the air? How do I keep it rolling? And like, I don't know. I can see how he would go like, oh, I've made all this great art. I have to keep making all this great art.
Yeah.
How do I stay relevant? I get crazy. Like, I think it could be calculated. He could be normal at home.
Yeah. Probably not. I mean, he is probably an asshole. I don't know why I'm defending him. I literally don't give a shit.
Right. I was like, oh, okay, Jews for Kanye. Got it. You could start a whole new clique.
Make that shirt. Make it merch.
Yeah. Jews for Kanye for president. Forever.
Okay, that's where we draw the line.
Okay, yeah, we don't believe in presidents.
No, we don't. Free range country.
Free range presidents.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
Everyone's president.
Yeah.
You're president, I'm president.
We're all presidents.
Yeah.
We should have a council.
Ooh.
We have the internet. We could all vote on everything.
Ooh, I like that show.
We don't need one guy to be like, everybody should agree with me. I think it's so stupid.
Yeah. Okay, what platform does it live on? Is it on TikTok? Is it on
Oh, it should just be government.org, gov.org. It's like everybody votes every day. You get up, you have your breakfast, you do your voting, and then it's like, do you want to bomb Russia today? Yes or no? Not today. No, thank you.
Today. I'm on my period. Abso-fucking-lutely.
Yep. No bombing on period days.
No bombing on period days. I just set up a horrible stereotype for women.
I think it might go the other way.
What do you mean?
There might be more bombing on period days.
Yeah.
Fuck everybody, send the nukes. Let's go.
Yeah, I do like that idea. Vote every day.
But or it could be once a week.
Yeah.
But there's so many people up in Congress, right? There's 500 or 600 people in the House of Representatives. There's 100 people in the Senate. We can't between those 600 or 700 people, we can't get something going.
And if nothing else, being a woman on the internet has taught me that the internet is a safe place with mentally stable people.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, it seems like a good idea.
Speaking of being a woman on the internet, you have an OnlyFans, but it's for comedy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a comedy, because that's a common thing. A lot of people are getting OnlyFans specials. You were on the LMFAO.
Yeah.
I got the letters wrong. But
Yeah.
you did a OnlyFans spot.
Yeah.
Special spot. 10 or 15?
I think it was 10 minutes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Everybody's saying amazing things about the way that they run their production and how well it's run and
it's a really well paid gig.
Yeah.
You'd be dumb to not do it. Yeah, I don't know. OnlyFans is an interesting space because like I logged on there just as a user to see what is this website about, because that's not where I watch my porn. I'm a good old fashioned Pornhub classic.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's interesting because you'll see a girl that's like, I like winter sports activities. I love going on my snowplow, and then she's literally getting plowed on a snowplow.
Plowed on plowed.
Yeah, now it's kind of like being a comedian now. You have to be a multi-hyphenate. I think that's what porn is on OnlyFans. You have to have a cooking show and also get railed on the counter.
Oh, interesting. So you have to be into macrame and then also making
That's at least the sense I got from it. So I think sometimes people get confused when they come to my page because you're like, you made me laugh on the internet. Can I see your tits? And I'm like, that's not what's happening here.
Right.
Have I sold a picture of my butt here and there to pay my rent? Yeah, a little bit. But I would never do anything that would have shamed my mother.
Yeah, it would shame my mother, though. My mother is shamed for both of us.
Yeah. Sorry, Mom.
Sorry, Mom. I would love it if OnlyFans became the go-to platform for paywalls for entertainment, because we're on Patreon. Me and everybody I produce for right now is on Patreon. Mm-hmm. And Patreon is built out of sticks and rubber bands. Anything, the wind blows the wrong way and something doesn't get uploaded the right way, you have to host it on YouTube and then link to it on Patreon. It's just not a good platform.
Yeah.
And I think the OnlyFans platform is more stable. I think they have better servers. They have way more money to work with.
Yeah.
So I would love it if the whole industry just shifted to destigmatizing OnlyFans and just obviously you're a comedian, obviously you have an OnlyFans.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that they're offering something to comedians that most platforms aren't. The pay is great, first of all. Bring your best stuff. We're paying you top dollar to do this. You're going to have a contract and you have opportunities to make more money and there's bonuses involved. Who else is doing that? Nobody.
Literally nobody.
Yeah.
I mean, Dry Bar is out there giving everybody a special, but it has to be clean, and then you owe them $12,000.
Really?
Yeah. They'll give you $1,700 to get there up front, and then you have to recoup $11,000.
How do you do that?
You have to get enough plays, and they recoup at 50%. So your special on Dry Bar has to make $22,000 for you to see any money.
Really?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Well, and I don't know anything about Dry Bar, so I'm not trying to disrespect them, but I've never heard of somebody being oh my God, I loved your dry bar special. Like, I've never.
Yeah.
Are people watching it?
Oh yeah, like the entire Mormon community is watching it.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's all clean, right? So you're gonna see people in there that like you'll never catch at the store or the Improv, but they're fully touring theater comedians that are just doing clean stuff.
Yeah.
You know, out of the clean side of comedy, you know, there's the John Crist, and then there's like Shane, the tattoo guy. And then who else are you going to remember? But if you're inside of the Christian community or the Mormon community, you could rattle off 50 comedians that you would go and see.
I should have been Christian, dude. I swear to God.
Yeah, I should have stayed Christian.
Yeah,
sorry,
what
Mom.
are you doing?
Yeah, it's too late. It's too late to go back. I've sinned on the internet now.
Yeah, that's where Jesus draws the line.
Yeah, Jesus is like, hey, if you sinned one time, you can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Right, because forgiveness isn't really part of the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, that lives on the internet forever. So people saw that.
Yeah. Fortunately, I'm now putting out so many episodes that if I start deleting the first couple hundred, no one's going to miss them.
Yeah.
No one's going back and watching them. I didn't have video for the first 30 episodes.
Yeah, I feel like that's how most podcasts start out, which is probably for the best.
That's what I recommend now. It's like, if you want to start a podcast, it's almost free to do audio only.
Yeah.
When you make the jump to video, that's a huge investment.
Yeah.
So,
well, my podcast was audio only. I mean, sometimes we would cut up the Zoom call, but I didn't realize there are people that are like audio files. Like, they're obsessed with the podcast world and like are obsessed with the actual audio. Like, I thought people were out here like, you know, watching Joe Rogan. So I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people, I get comments all the time if any of the audio is different from week to week. People are like, oh, it was lower this week.
Interesting.
Okay. I specifically make all of my podcasts way too loud because I feel like 90% of podcasts that I listen to are very low, and then my car navigation comes on and it's like, take a left. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
Jesus.
I hate a badly edited podcast.
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't know. I get into podcasts like based on what people recommend to me, and honestly, what Spotify serves up to me. Like, I've just started listening to this history podcast. It's my favorite thing. Like,
really?
It's so dumb.
Wow.
Yeah, it's actually not dumb at all. It's the opposite of dumb. It's like super smart, and like I feel like I'm smarter every time I listen to it. I'm like, oh my God, I can tell you everything about Joan of Arc. Mm-hmm. I can tell you everything about Jane Austen for some reason. Never read her books, but I know everything about her now.
Dude, Spotify is really good at going, oh, I know you.
Yeah.
You like this. My Spotify is kind of fucked though, because I will play songs as jokes in my account for like at a party or on a podcast. I just use my one account.
So hyperactive aux cord.
Yeah. So some people are like, you know, play Call Me Maybe. And then or the next day I'm playing like gangster rap. And they're like, it's having a hard time figuring me out.
Yeah.
I wish I could just have an algorithm pause button where it's like, I'm just going to be joking for the next hour. Don't keep any of this shit in.
If only if your Spotify could see you, they'd be like, oh, this is the guy at the party that everybody requests to put music on.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then the stuff that I put on my clips, I don't think that's through Spotify, so that doesn't matter. But
yeah.
Going back to the board, let's do a Would You Rather. We don't have to do them all at the end.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, this is a good one. I think this is a good one.
Okay.
Would you rather verbally count to 1 million or break your own arm?
Would I rather verbally count to 1 million or break my own arm? I have to break my own arm? Like, I can't have somebody break it for me?
That's what it says. But you can... There's no rules. You can change any of this verbiage however you want.
I would allow somebody to break my arm because that would take less time, and I hate wasting time.
But how long does it take to heal a broken arm?
Oh, that's so true.
Is it 7 weeks? Is it 8 weeks?
Yeah, I don't have health insurance.
So it's never? You just walk around with a gimp arm for the rest of your life?
Yeah, but then I'd be that comic, you know?
Oh, yeah. There's no one-armed lady gimp comics right now.
There really isn't. I'd be a Kill Tony regular in a week.
Yeah, you'd get the golden buzzer.
Yeah, what would counting to 1 million do for my career, really?
How long would it take to count to 1 million?
I honestly don't even know if I can count to 1 million. I've never tried.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if... I guess I know how numbers work, maybe. I went to Arizona State. Like,
oh, yeah, you should break your arm.
Yeah, it's more likely.
Right. Did you go there when Andrew Santino was there?
No, he's a little older than me, but we have talked about it before.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I assumed he was a little older than you. I have no idea how old you are, and I'm not going to ask you on camera.
That's polite, thank you.
You don't ask a lady. Half the shit I've asked you so far.
Oh no, this has been nice. This is a nice cozy podcast.
Did we wrap up the comedy mothership though? Did we round out that experience? Like,
yeah, it was a great experience. It's definitely Interesting, because you do kill it with the racial jokes. I was battling an Asian guy, and he was making fun of me for being Jewish, and I had to make fun of him for being Asian. I'm like, this is not my finest moment, but it killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the South has a little bit less. What do you call it? Cancel culture?
Yeah.
Or I guess it's wokeness. Is it less woke?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there is a little bit of that, but I got so much stage time there. I mean, I did 7 shows in a weekend. I'm lucky if I have 7 shows in a month here.
Wow.
You know?
That is a lot.
Yeah. And actually, the one thing I'll say about Austin's comedy scene that is so special is like, I would be hanging out with comics, and a comic would leave the room, and the other comics that were still in the room would talk about how much they liked that comedian. Like,
oh, wow.
It was amazing.
That's the exact opposite of what happens here.
They'd be like, "Whoa, I love that one joke he does," or like, "Oh, he's really getting good." You know, they would say so many positive things about. They're like a truly supportive community, and I'm like, "What are you guys smoking? Like,
Right.
what do you guys want from? Are you doing this for me? Is this performative? Like,
Yeah.
because that doesn't happen in LA. But
No.
they really have each other's backs, and I think every scene could learn something from that because it was really nice to watch.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I did not expect to hear that.
Yeah, there's a lot of camaraderie because there's also like, it's a new scene. It's like the gold rush. Like everybody just settled there, you know, like everyone's new, everyone's alone. So I think they build friends really fast, but it's a small scene. So everybody knows each other, you know?
Yeah. From what I've heard, and I'm just going to say this as a statement and not as a leading question, but if you had your name on the wall at the store or you were associated with the store in any way, friends and family whatsoever, then you're pretty welcome at Comedy Mothership. But if they don't know who you are and you're from LA or New York, then there's a little bit of a protective barrier where they're like, hey, we got our own thing going on down here.
I think that's true. I mean, it's literally called a club because it is a club.
I never thought about that. Yeah.
And I am not in the club. And I've never been in the club.
You're not best friends with Joe Rogan?
No, but I'm also like, I don't know. I've never been like that person in any stage of my life. Like, I've never been like popular, you know, like, but I find the good people. It's so funny because it's like, I'm from the East Coast, and I just found the East Coasters in Austin. We just like naturally flock towards each other.
Right.
And they're not in at the club there, but they were just nice. They helped me get stage time, and it was good quality stage time with sold out audiences, you
That's
know?
awesome.
So I don't know what the ceiling is in Austin. Like, I don't know if the ultimate goal is to get in with Rogan, but you can get good fast there.
Yeah, that's it's so tempting because I miss living in the South. I grew up in North Carolina. But like, I haven't really ingratiated myself into the scene here other than like being known as a comedy photographer and a podcaster. So would I do the same thing in Austin? Or am I just going to move to Austin to like just be a photographer? I don't know. So I don't know. I'm grasping onto like the death rattle of my film career here as it moves to New Mexico and to Australia.
Yeah.
So I don't know. If it gets any worse, I'm out.
That's the thing is like, there was this moment where I was like, wow, I'm having a great time in Austin. Should I just move here? But the homeless people there are so fucking scary.
Worse than here?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because here they kind of leave you alone. But over there, they're everywhere, and they come up to you, and they, like, touch you and, like, ask you for things. I'm like, I feel unsafe. Plus, like, everyone there is so fucking wasted on 6th Street. Like, and they're armed. Like, I heard somebody cock their gun right behind me, and I turned around, there was a guy just waving his gun.
No thanks.
And I'm like, no, this is not. I don't want to be on guard all the time.
Right. I didn't know that their homeless were worse.
Yeah.
At least here they don't touch you.
Yeah.
So for the most part.
Yeah, there was this one guy like shadow boxing with a fucking like electrical box, and then like this other homeless guy came and started yelling at him. Like, I'm by myself here. Like, I don't know what's happening, you know?
That's nuts.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I've heard a lot of like bigger comedians who made the Mecca to Austin talk about how bad our homeless people are. I'm like, they're way worse here.
Yeah.
And then like I talked to somebody about like buying a house out there, and they're like, you can't buy a house here. Like, you're gonna have to live an hour away in the middle of nowhere. So I'm like, you know what? I think I'm fine in LA. People are beautiful. We have beaches.
You could get a house in Austin.
You think so?
They want you to think, because all those people are buying like tons of houses. All those headliners that move down there, they're buying like 5 houses.
Yeah.
So they want to drive house prices up because they want their investments to go up.
Yeah.
You can find condos. I mean, yeah, I would say 20 minutes outside of Austin, or even up by Cap City across the river.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know, but if you want to be downtown, you don't want to live downtown in any city in America.
No, that's so real.
Like, I know people that have lived downtown LA, and I'm like, what? For what?
I also have had that temptation, and then you hear about people being murdered, and you're like,
What happens in any downtown after 9 p.m.?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing.
There's one bar that like all the janitorial people go to when they're done cleaning the offices that are completely fucking empty after 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
No, I don't know why people put venues in a downtown area either.
I feel like downtown was having a moment, and then the pandemic happened and just fucked up all the progress. But you have like these beautiful like 1920s like high ceiling buildings down there that are so tempting because you have so much space for the amount that you're paying. Yeah. But yeah, the high ceilings are not worth the murder. No. But if you're going to be stuck in your house for 2 years during lockdown, high ceilings are real nice. Yeah. I have high ceilings. What the hell? You have balconies, high ceilings? What?
I'm rich, dude. No, it's just the top floor, so it's a loft. It's like
that sounds nice.
Yeah, and I look at the marina. I look out over a protected wetlands onto a marina.
Whoa.
I stole it. I moved in the middle of Pandy. I lived in the valley for 16 years, and I lived in the same place for 12. Wow. And I was like, if they're going to keep us inside, I want to go somewhere where I could go outside. Yeah. So I just moved down to the beach.
That sounds quaint.
And my rent's never gone up ever since I moved down.
It's rent control too?
Yeah, but it doesn't have in-unit. It doesn't have in-unit laundry.
Okay. Everything else you said is like, all right.
And they just added electric chargers in every parking spot.
Who did you sell your soul to?
I don't know, but I need it back.
Yeah. No, they can have it.
Oh, no. I need a soul. I gotta stop drinking coffee on the show. Would you rather be considered annoying or considered boring?
Ooh, annoying. Because annoying people get famous in this town.
Right.
Yeah.
But you can't be a boring comedian.
You can. They exist. But I can't watch them.
Right. I don't think you can be a success. Is there a successful boring comedian?
Yeah, but I'm not going to say that on a podcast in case I mean, meet them.
Super famous people. I would go with maybe Stephen Wright. The guy that was like, so we're going to... He was on like... he's just very like deadpan. Mm-hmm. And he's got that real lazy voice. And he's like,
I can't listen to that. I mean, I might be able to listen to that for 10 minutes, but I can't sit through an hour of that.
But like Robin Williams, Jim Carrey, like bouncing off the walls energy, that's got to get annoying after a while.
Yeah. Well, and there's some comedians that are just always on and you want to punch them in the face. But you know what? Like, those people succeed. You gotta be... I sometimes think I'm like not mentally ill enough to succeed in this industry.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like, I did too much therapy. I should have stopped.
Maybe you need CTE?
Yeah. If you want to punch me in the face.
No, thanks.
Oh.
But if you're going to plan it, I'll film it. Like, if you can find someone else to punch you in the face.
Yeah. You have a lot of cameras here. I don't do anything that doesn't get likes and shares, so...
Oh.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
This is the episode.
I'm here to monetize my life, baby.
Let's go. Everything is for sale.
Yes.
There's a podcast that I produce for an actor, and he's like, my emotions are strictly for sale, but not at these prices.
I like that, though. My emotions are for sale. Mm-hmm. That's so true. When you're like with acting, like you just got to save everything for the moment the camera's rolling.
Yeah. There's a lot of directors now. I say now because I started working in film when we shot on film. That's how fucking old I am. But now a lot of directors just roll, and then they're just like, yeah, keep it going. And they'll talk through the and then like takes will be like 9-10 minutes now. Yeah. It's just like back on film, I think it was like a focused effort where it was like literally every second cost 77 cents. So I mean, that's how much a foot of film costs for a 435 camera. So you could get it cheaper, but you'd have to like tape it together.
That's interesting that it changed the process of it. Because I've seen so many actors, they'll be like having a conversation like you and I are having, and then they'll get into scene, and then anyways, how's your coffee? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some people can snap in and out, and then some people have to stay in it like all day.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, that seems exhausting.
Yeah, but I feel like it's also hard to snap in and out. Like, I hate method actors, but I see why they do it, because it's like you have an annoying PA that's like talking to you too much, and you're like trying to like think about the worst thing that ever happened to you so you can get into character.
Yeah I just want to play bad guys and mean bosses.
Same.
That's all I want to do.
Yeah,
because then I don't have to get my teeth fixed, and I can play westerns, and I can be like the gritty not straight toothed guy.
I see that for you.
Yeah, and I can, you just yell at people all day.
Yeah, I always feel like people that play villains are probably the funniest people in real life.
Oh.
Like, I feel like there's something that goes hand in hand with like analyzing what makes somebody horrible. Yeah. That is innately like humorous. I don't know why, but I've always been attracted to the villains in movies.
Yeah, I've always wanted to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
The bad guys are always the coolest.
Yeah.
I think it's because I don't in my head, my mental projection of myself is that I'm not attractive enough to be the leading man. and that's not a leading question. I'm not going like, tell me I'm hot. I'm just saying like I never like growing up I was a goofy kid, and then all through my 20s and 30s I was like a goofy dude.
Yeah.
So when I saw bad guys, I was like, those are goofy dudes.
Yeah.
And then I would watch like Chris Pine in something, and I'm like, well, I'm not willing to go to the gym that much.
Yeah.
Or go to acting class, but I still want to be a famous actor.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel like there's so many ways to be evil too, because like, yeah, you can be this like smart, sophisticated, well-dressed evil person, or you can be like the guy in Barry. That's from I forget what country, but he's such an idiot.
Right, the bald guy.
Yeah, I love him,
dude. His character has so much depth, and he's gay, and you didn't see that coming. And then he's just like, but he, like, I love it when people are just like really blunt. I just love the comedy of just saying exactly what you're thinking, no filter.
Yeah.
That's a very dark show.
It is. I love it.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I do too. I don't feel like Barry's the good guy though.
No.
Like I feel like I could play a Barry.
You could play the Barry. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see that.
But what's the his handler's name? The short fat guy. I
don't remember.
That to me is the bad guy.
Yeah.
The
what is his name?
Antagonist. I forgot. He's in a ton of shit. And I'll just put it here on the screen. I'll put a picture of him. I won't. I say that. I saw these editorial notes, then I'm like lazy and I don't do it. Yeah,
that's okay. I'm sure whatever you're cooking up is gonna be great.
Where's the last place you traveled not for comedy?
You know, it's been too fucking long since I traveled. The last place I went was a family reunion in Arizona.
Okay.
It was very hot. Everyone was very old. It was very high risk.
Okay.
Yeah. But
like during Pandy high risk or like what?
No, this was like in August.
Oh,
like,
this year.
Yeah. My mom's cousin was turning 70, so we had family flying from all over Argentina, like Europe, like all over. Like everyone here is a senior citizen. They should not be going to Arizona in August. But we had a great time.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was that? 120 degrees out there?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
What part of Arizona?
It was in Phoenix.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a mom's cousin turning 70, and everybody's like, that seems to me like not something I would go to in my family. Like a mom's cousin. I got to be like a direct family member kind of flight.
Yeah, I feel that way too, but my mom's from Argentina, so like I guess growing up, all the cousins hung out. Like that's what they did on weekends. Like it was just always, especially because we're Jewish, like like Jews really stick together in Argentina because everybody hates them. So yeah, you really just hung out with your family and like other Jews. Yeah.
So Jewish Argentinian. That's pretty unique, right?
Yeah, people always think I'm a Nazi because I'm white and Latina, but it's actually quite the opposite. We were there first.
We were there before Hitler built his hideaway.
Yeah.
Is that like a that's a urban legend, right? That Hitler escaped to Argentina.
Oh well, I don't know about that. I mean,
or was
historians.
it Brazil?
I know like some of the top Nazi officials definitely went to Argentina.
So when you said top Nazis, I just pictured a bunch of like SS guys with like top knots. Just like they have all their hair just up. Just like, we're here from Germany. We have top knots.
Yes. Oh, something about it is very aggravating. Yeah. Yeah, top knots and Nazis, they go well together.
No, that's a dumb question. I was gonna say if you were a Nazi, would you want to be one of the top ones? But I don't think anybody would want to be a top Nazi.
That's an insane question.
Right.
Would you like to be the best worst guy, or?
That was one of the would you rathers last week. It was, would you rather be the best basketball player on a bad team or the worst player on the best team? Which is kind of the same question.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, Nazis and basketball players are the same.
Well, I mean, you don't want to be a good Nazi. You want to be bad at it on purpose.
Yeah.
And like kind of derail them from the inside.
Yeah, because I was just talking about this with my mom. She's like, well, there were some Nazis who ended up like turning around and doing like good things for humanity. And I'm like, well, it depends like at what level they were working. Like, yeah, if you were the door guy, like, I don't know, you were probably just trying to feed your family. But if you were like the one doing the experiments, like, no, you're a pretty bad guy. There's no forgiving that.
Yeah. Did you ever watch Hogan's Heroes?
No, what's that?
It's a sitcom based in the camps during World War II, where not the camps, where the captured Americans were being imprisoned by German soldiers.
Oh, wow.
But they outsmarted them at every turn. They had tunnels from every house to every other house. They had a tunnel that took them outside. They could come and go as they wanted to, and they were just outsmarting the Nazis left and right. I don't know why I brought it up.
Probably because I was saying something about like degrees of Nazism and what's forgivable. I don't know.
You think it came all the way from the top down? You think like Hitler started it and then it was just like, all right, we're all doing Hitler stuff now? Or do you think it was like Hitler had a team to roll it out? Like the branding on that was a little insane.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like anti-Semitism is always on the tip of everyone's tongue and they just need a fucking reason. Like,
everyone.
Especially, not everyone, but like there are swaths of the population. I don't even know where it comes from. Like I don't know where anti-Semitism first started.
Yeah.
But I feel like Hitler was just this kind of charismatic guy, and people were like, I've always hated the Jews. And this guy just makes a strong argument.
Yeah. I've never understood just like blatant racism. Like I'm this color and I don't like that color. Like I'm not going to make a specific example that someone can clip out later. But I do understand like countries that hate each other, and then those two countries always, and every downline generation will always hate them. You know what I mean? Like let's say that Finland and whatever's next to Finland were just warring all the time. It'd be like, oh yeah, I fucking hate Finns.
Yeah.
And I get that. It's like, oh, the Finns. What is next to Finland? I don't know. That's a tough question.
I have no idea. I went to Arizona State, like I said.
Right. I didn't go to college, so
yeah.
I should have picked something better than Iceland. Is Iceland near Finland? Let's just say it.
Yeah,
fuck it.
sure,
Iceland and Finland. There's a little bit of water between. Yeah.
Yeah.
What if they're warring all the time and Finland's invading Iceland, Iceland's invading Finland? I would understand why those two people would absolutely hate each other.
Yeah, like hating your neighbor completely makes sense. I also hate my neighbors, but
a guy that grows up in Detroit and he's just like, Jews aren't for me. Like, what's that about?
I don't know.
Where do you even get that from? That has to be a learned behavior. It has to be ingrained or taught.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, it's really easy to like blame shit that's happening to you on like somebody you don't know, and you never have to face consequences. I think but I was just listening to this podcast about how like Hitler was like obsessed with basically the equivalent of Horcruxes. like J.K. Rowling really fucking nailed it with Voldemort and like this search for like power. Like apparently the Nazis like killing Jews was just kind of their side hustle. What they were really trying to do was build this like mega museum with stolen relics, and they were trying to find like Jesus's whatever, like his chalice and everything, because they thought that meant ultimate power and they could establish a new religion. You know?
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Literally.
Yeah, where they cracked the ark. Oh, and the face melt. Oh man.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Me
neither. This podcast was like guys are always talking about like girls and their crystals. I'm like, no. Hitler and his Horcruxes.
That is the last thing I thought you were going to say on this podcast today. And I'm also going to clip that for the first thing that comes out.
Yes, perfect.
And I'm going to roll a whole bunch of questions of my own when you leave. And then the answer is always just going to be Hitler.
This feels good for
hilarious.
The current.
Would you rather lose all of your memories or never create new memories?
Ooh.
So like they wipe your brain right now, you start from scratch? Or you never remember anything else that happens to you for the rest of your life?
Okay. I don't know how old you are, but I feel like my memories are like not that vivid.
I have the worst memory of all time.
Yeah. They're just like they're like in low def. I think about my childhood and it's very grainy. So I can probably lose those and just make some new ones.
Well, I wonder if that has anything to do with your personality, right? Would you still be the same person if you wiped your memory right now?
Oh.
Because I think our experiences shape who we are.
That's very meta.
So I'll be 45 in 2 weeks.
Oh, wow,
so I've had a pretty great life. I have developed into this amazing person that I am.
Yeah, I agree.
It's loved
Hell yeah.
by everyone and has so many friends.
Never change.
So I think I would be all right if I like woke up every day and was like, well, this is who I am. But like waking up like Memento style and be like, well, I was born. You're essentially like born at whatever age you lost your memory at.
Ooh, yeah.
Which is also exciting. Like you can be a whole new person, but you could never go back to work.
Yeah. And I don't think I want to be shaped by this society. I'm glad that I was shaped pre-internet.
Me too.
Yeah. This is a terrifying time to be a child, I think.
Which takes us to another good would you rather. These two tie together. Would you rather live in the past or live in the future?
Live in my past? Sure. But live in the past? Fuck no.
Oh, yeah. No. Like wagons? East?
Yeah. No. Dysentery? I already taken up shits.
No. I have a theory. Because they just launched a new AI that is going to be like an open world where like it's like a Sims, but it's bigger.
Oh, wow.
And the thought that I had was like, well, what if this is just an earlier version of that, right? And then I thought, because I've been simulation theorist for at least 2 weeks now.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm like, this is simulation. It's too weird. If you focus on something long enough and you work hard enough, you get it.
Yeah.
Or I do. And I don't know if that's for everybody.
No, I've always thought that all of the people are in my life were set up specifically for me to like play with.
Right.
Like
yeah.
very, what's that movie? Truman Show?
Yes.
Yeah.
Truman Show changed my life. The Matrix changed my life. And I was like, okay, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
So I think that there's a loop going on. And all they did was all they rendered out on the computer was 80s, 90s, 2000s, and 20. There's a 40-year window. And we just keep recycling.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I'm going to live that long either.
Yeah. No, I really hope I don't.
Yeah.
I'm good at like 60.
I said I didn't want to live that long until I was like 33. And then I was like, oh, I want to live longer now.
Yeah.
But now I'm going to be 45 and I'm like, we had a good run.
Yeah. I literally was just joking about this the other day. Like people that like simp for life too hard. Like, what are you holding on to?
Right. There's another adventure after this. Or
like,
you won't miss it because it'll just go dark.
Yeah, and there's also this like the guy that's like always drinking his son's blood to like stay young. Have you seen that guy?
No.
No, you definitely have. He's very ugly.
Did he hang out at the store?
There's six names that just popped in my head right now that I'm not gonna say.
Hilarious.
No, he's that guy that he's like trying to solve like living forever.
Oh, Elon Musk.
I know, they're probably friends though.
I have heard of the guy who drinks breast milk every morning.
Oh, he's just a pervert.
He just keeps getting more and more girlfriends and getting them pregnant so he can have more and more breast milk.
No, never ending supply.
No.
I don't know what's worse, cow milk or human milk. They all gross me out.
Oh, I haven't had human milk in a very long time. So I haven't.
Is it more gross to drink an animal's milk, or is it more gross to drink a woman's?
How you like that
milk?
one, Mom? Ugh.
I haven't. Was it last week?
Yeah. I think it's gross to drink any kind of milk after 4 years old.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Literally, what are you doing?
Like, I watch a subsistence farmer to go to sleep every night, and he has cows, and he milks them, and he drinks the milk, he makes cheese, does everything else you can make with milk, yogurt, all that stuff.
I'm sorry, why do you watch this?
Oh, because it's just super soothing. He's from where I came from, and he just like him and his little family like grow crops and cows, and I want to do that when I retire. I just want to have a little farm.
Okay, so that answers the question. You definitely want to live in the past with this guy milking cows.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. I don't want to drink the milk, so I don't give a shit about milking the cows, and I don't want to get up that early.
Have you ever milked a cow? It's very satisfying.
Yeah. But like, I don't want to get up for that.
Yeah.
I don't want to wake up in a hangover and be like, God, I milked the cows.
Yeah. That is kind of insane. Like, you wake up and the first thing you do is grab an animal's tits.
Right.
That's crazy.
And you have to purposely separate them from their young so they don't drink all the milk all night, so there's milk built up so you can milk them.
Yeah.
I don't want the milk. Let the kid cow eat the milk. Yeah. But I do want the beef.
I do want to murder you.
Yeah.
I guess.
I've heard that cows are like dogs.
Yeah, they're very cute animals. I like, because I used to do news, and when they sent us to like the state fair or whatever, and that kind of changed my view of food forever, because the cows were so sweet and they looked so sad, and I literally saw like my dog's eyes and the cow's eyes. It like really fucks with you. And like pigs too. Pigs are literally dogs.
Yeah, they're very smart. They're more aggressive. But
yeah, and then I would be too if I was caged my whole life.
Hungry all the time.
Yeah.
So I will eat anything you give me. I'm so hungry. That's crazy. Yeah, the fair in any state will change how you view any kind of food.
Yeah.
Because you'll see somebody walking around that definitely has cholesterol problems eating a stick of fried butter.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, bud, what you doing?
Yeah.
What's the weirdest deep fried thing you've seen at a fair?
I haven't seen anything that weird. I mean, I've seen like deep fried Oreos, which are delicious.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how I want to die.
Yeah. Just a basket of deep fried Oreos. Or deep fried ice cream. Anything cold that gets deep fried, I'm like, how did you do that?
Right? Oh, have you ever had baked Alaska?
Oh, I think so. What is it?
It's magic. I don't know how they make it.
Magic?
Well, actually, I do know how they make it. We made it in my like high school cooking class, but it's so labor intensive. It takes like 2 days to do.
Oh.
Yeah. But like basically you have to like take like a big slab of ice cream and then you coat it like airtight with batter and you put it in the fucking oven and you put it in there for like 2 minutes and it cooks and then you have this like hot batter with cold ice cream inside and it is just orgasmic.
Wow. That's nice.
Yeah, that is nice.
I'm very hungry. I haven't had lunch yet.
Ugh, same.
Yeah. I have a fruit guy that's down the street from here and I stop and get fruit sometimes for lunch.
Oh, thank God for him.
Yeah, but it's not fruit and coffee, man.
That's very LA of you.
Well, I'm on a self-improvement journey right now.
How's it going?
Not great. I worked out a couple times and I didn't get a six-pack, so I was like, what are we even doing? No, I've been riding my bike all the way since Pandy. I ride my bike for 10 miles a day in the morning inside while I play video games. It's my excuse to play video games. But getting back in shape takes so much longer than I thought.
Yeah, I feel like it's really just a mental thing. It's like making yourself go to the gym. Once you get in that habit, it's great. Yeah. But the second you fall off, it's like, nah.
Yeah, I think maintaining a weight is so much easier than like losing weight. Like I could rock this dad bod forever.
You look great, dude.
Thank you, I appreciate that. But I don't want to just look great. I want to get to like older Matt Rife status. Like I want to get fucking. Like, you see these comics that blow up when they're in their 20s and they're super skinny and then they get jacked, like Chappelle, Dane Cook.
I do wonder, because I haven't seen Matt Rife around in a while, but the next time I see him, I'll be like, do you work out in hotel gyms? Because, like, they're not really that stocked. They have, like, a set of weights, and there's no way you can get that jacked in a hotel gym. You know what I mean? It's
true, but you and I have a mutual friend that goes to hotel gyms every day.
Who?
Drew Lynch.
Really?
Every morning. It's like if you wake up and you want to know where Drew is, he's in the gym every day at the hotel.
What discipline?
I don't know what Matt's doing because that's a whole lot to maintain right there.
Yeah.
All right, let's do 2 more and then we'll do our last question and we'll get you out of here.
Okay.
Would you rather be unable to sit or unable to stand?
Oh.
This one it feels like it would be a no-brainer for a stand-up comedian.
Yeah. But then that would mean, again, going back to being a comic with a gimmick, I would be the sit-down comedian. I'd probably be in a chair.
Yeah.
And, actually, no, Joe Urell would have a lot to say about this.
Yeah. That was my first thought when I started doing stand-up. I was like, nobody sits except for Mark Maron. I'm going to be the sit-down guy.
How do you feel about sit-down comedians?
I mean, as a whole, like as like a sit-down comic is like a prop comic, or how do you feel about sitting down while doing comedy?
I guess both. Like when you see a comic who's not famous, who's not Dave Chappelle, sit down. How do you feel about that?
I saw a guy at Potluck at the store last Monday that sat down and was very funny.
Okay.
But it looked like he was trying to sit like other people. Like he wasn't just seated. He was like leaning on it at the side, and it was like, oh, that's very reminiscent of like Chappelle or like someone else like using the stool as a prop. I love the way Mark Maron does it.
Yeah.
But I don't consider Mark a sit down comic. I just think sometimes he's just tired and doesn't want to stand for an hour.
Yeah.
Like Theo, right? I've seen Theo's hour more than I've seen anybody else's hour, right?
Yeah.
He'll sit for some stuff and then he'll get up and pace for a while and then he'll sit down. Like I like the use of the stool, it's there.
Yeah.
But a lot of people only use it to hold their phone and their water, so they can't sit on it.
Right. That's interesting. I've never thought of it that way. It is a stool. It's not a nightstand.
Right. It's supposed to be sat on. And
yeah.
You can put your water on the ground.
Okay, that makes me change my opinion a little bit. I've always had like an aversion to people sitting down because I'm like, dude, you're doing 10 minutes. What, are you fucking tired? Like,
right. Yeah. I think it should be used as a prop whenever it can be for an hour-long set, but I think you're right. In a 10-minute spot.
Stool, yeah.
That's not what I was thinking, but humping it is cool. Yeah, that's the name of this episode. Humping the stool is cool. No, I think you're right. For like, there shouldn't even be a stool like for 10-minute spots.
Well, I do like keeping my phone nearby. But yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. And Theo, I feel like, earns his sit-down moment because he's like a fucking lion, just like prances all over the stage. And then, all right, he's probably a little tired.
He's chilling.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's never the people that you would think would sit. Like you would think, you'd think Tim would just sit the whole time. Sarah Silverman sits on the piano at the Improv.
Yeah, she does. She like curls up like a
she'll like
ball.
lay down like and write notes while she's talking to the mic.
She does do that. She reminds me of. Did you ever watch Big Comfy Couch?
No.
When you were a kid.
I've heard of it though.
Yeah, there was this very like roly-poly girl that would like then do this whole thing with the clock and like teach time by like rolling around on the clock. That's what Sarah Silverman reminds me of.
Oh, was it Sarah Silverman?
It might have been.
That's crazy.
That's her first credit.
Yeah. People tell me that I look like her boyfriend, and I'm like, man.
Oh, you do.
Oh, he's at least 10 years older than me. So I'm like, oh,
yeah, he is.
That hurts my ego.
You're more hip than he is.
I hope so. But he's also, a famous writer.
Yeah, and Sarah Silverman's boyfriend.
Right. I don't ever want to be famous for a relationship. Like I don't want to. It's like if the Hawk Tuah girl came calling. I don't want to be like Hawk Tuah girl's boyfriend, right?
Oh wow, but I would be like, nice.
Yeah, I mean, be like, is it a Hawk or a Tuah? But how do you feel about that? Would you ever you want to be known for your own talents and you don't want to marry into a.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like, especially as a woman in comedy,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like people are always finding excuses to degrade what you've worked for. Like, well, she got it because of this. She got it because of that. And the second you date somebody that is more successful, people be like, oh, well, see?
Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah. And you'll never, ever, ever outlive it. Like.
But I feel like people that are talking that shit aren't your friends anyway.
Yeah.
So what does it matter?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in my 30s now. I feel like, I don't know. I just don't care anymore. Like, I really just do my job and I go home.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm giving less and less fucks about other people. Like, if you're my, core 5 people, or my brothers, my family, fucking tell me what you think.
Yeah.
Open door, super willing to listen to it.
Yeah.
But if I don't really know you and you have something to say, that's great. Oh, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to think about it again.
Yeah, but I think, my aunt one time said to me, she was like, when you get where you want to be, you want to know exactly how you got there. And I want to know that I got there because I was good enough and not because somebody liked me or I dated somebody,
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But I think even if you were afforded an opportunity through a relationship or through a friend, the opportunity wouldn't come to fruition if you weren't talented enough to capitalize on it, right?
Yeah.
So they say success is what happens when preparation meets opportunity.
Yeah, that's true.
So if you got the opportunity through a relationship, or who cares how you got it, if you were prepared for it, then success happens.
Yeah, I think if you suck and you date somebody important, people are going to see that you suck pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I wish no ill to the Hawk Tuah girl, but
oh sure,
she will either have a successful career because she's good and she actually has a lot of funny things to say, or it'll fizzle out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she's getting a lot of support from the comedy community, which I didn't see that coming.
Really?
Yeah. She's got a podcast now.
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah.
One more, or did we do the last one? No, we didn't. Would you rather never? I'm saying this backwards. Mentally never age or physically never age?
I would definitely rather never physically age.
Same.
Yeah, my 30s hit me hard. I'm good here. I'm good with this.
I'm fine. This is the hottest that I'll ever be ever again.
Yeah, same.
So, and we end with the same question. We ask everybody the same question. What is the best meal you've ever had in your whole life?
Ooh, the best meal I've ever had in my whole life is difficult to say, but I will say this. I went to Austin recently, and I had gone to Austin 7 years ago, and I went to this taco truck that had the best fucking tacos I've ever had in my fucking life.
Wait, you had the best tacos in Austin?
Yes.
Not Los Angeles.
I've had some pretty good tacos here, but I think about these tacos often, and they're in front of this bar called the White Horse in Austin.
Okay.
The last time I went to Austin, the taco truck was closed. This time I was like, I don't care if I have to miss a show. I'm going to this fucking taco truck.
Yeah.
So I walk, because I didn't want to pay for an Uber. So I walked 40 minutes to this taco truck.
Wow.
I got there. It was closed.
Did you camp out?
They were like, it's closed on the weekends. I was only there for the weekend.
Who's closing the taco stand
That's
on the
what
weekends?
I'm saying.
This can no longer be your favorite food.
I
You
know.
missed it the last 2 times.
Yeah, I
It's
think
closed
that
on the weekends.
maybe it would ruin it if I had it twice. Maybe this is God's way of protecting the memory,
Yeah. Memories are always better than the actuality. Yeah. I had a steak in Asheville, the place that flooded in North Carolina. It was one of my first going away for the weekend trips with a lady when I was early 20s. And I just remember sitting out on this balcony. The leaves are changing. It's October. And I was like, this is the best steak I've ever had. And then I think back to my whole life. I was like, my parents didn't really feed me a whole lot of steak. So it could have been like one of the first 10 steaks I ever had. I don't ever want to go back there. It probably slid off the mountain after the hurricane anyway.
Yeah.
But I never want to eat it again.
Yeah, just let it live in memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, or do you eat meat? I didn't ask you that earlier.
I do eat meat, yeah.
So what kind of tacos were they the first time you had them?
Here's the thing. I have no freaking clue what was
you
in
don't
the
even know?
tacos.
Oh, man.
I
So
just
you don't know if
remember
it was
eating
like
it.
El
and being
Pastor or like Birria or like...
Couldn't tell you.
Oh.
I just remember eating it and being like, this is the best taco I've ever had in my life. And it wasn't like an I'm drunk situation where I just haven't eaten all day. I was like, this is genuinely the best taco I've ever eaten.
What's the plan when you go back? You have to try one of each because you don't remember what the good one was.
Yeah.
Or are you going to be like, hey, remember me? I was here 11 years ago.
Tell me what I ordered.
Amazing. Kiki, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. This is fun.
Plug all your social media like we're not about to do it in the intro.
Well, you can find me on Instagram and TikTok. It's Kiki Anderson. YouTube, just regular Kiki Anderson. You can listen to my podcast. It's dead now, but it's Indecent with Kiki Anderson. And if you're in Chicago or Atlanta, I'm coming to you. So
everybody, please follow Kiki. You also have YouTube, yeah? We talked about that. It's just Kiki Anderson. Mm-hmm. That's where you put all your stand-up stuff. Mm-hmm. You can watch that special on OnlyFans, and
that's it.
That's it. We did it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've drank this whole thing, so now I'm having a hard time concentrating because I have to pee really bad.
Yeah, you're gonna have to like run in like 30 circles. Maybe you can bike in 30 circles.
Yeah, or I could just go to the bathroom.
Or that.
Kiki, thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.
We'll see you next time, everybody.
Bye.